everybody, it's Meg Czapiewski with Honorable Service Realty Group here with your June market update. May numbers are in, so let me share my screen and show you my charts and graphs that educate me and hopefully will educate you. So what you're looking at is a spotlight of the data in the month of May for each of the 3 counties that we'll take a look at. I've highlighted the columns that I care about. I guess it's the rows. Highlighted the rows of what I pay attention to, essentially the median versus the average. And pluses where we want pluses, and median days on market at 5 days. Let me take a second to explain that, because people would be surprised when you look at the MLS that you are seeing something that looks different. But it's because these are the median days on market of the homes that sold in the month of May. So if you went to the MLS in any day in May and looked at other properties that aren't selling, they would have higher days on market, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about how fast does it take to get something under contract, and the only thing they're really looking at are those things that did get under contract, so not the things that are sitting. We're going to have to talk about that on one chart at the very end. Median price per square foot, just another indicator that, life is good. Life is good. This slide here, May contract snapshot, shows the numbers of pendings versus the number of closed sales. I don't really pay attention to this one, but it is a 5-year look back that overall you can see we're still kind of, we're not that far off from where we were in 2020. If this had been 2019, that would have been a little bit more interesting, because 2020 was a whack year, 2021 was a whack year, and we're trying to recover from it ever since. All right, let's take a look at the next chart, because new pendings to me is more of an indicator of what activity levels are happening. That's those contracts, those homes that went under contract in the month of May. And we're seeing in Fairfax County that there was a little bit of drop in activity. You're actually going to see something similar in the next 2 counties. That's because we're out of our spring market. We are moving into our summer slump market. School's out. Kids are doing fun things with mom and dad, and they aren't out looking at houses and going to all your open houses. So, but sales prices, on the other hand, show a nice hefty upturn. Continued increases for single family home is the red line. That's a 16% year over year. So in other words, this time last year in May, we were down 16% from where we're at today for a sales price. That's fantastic equity growth, isn't it? This is reflecting a little over $1 million at 1.03 million for a median sales price of a detached or single family home. And then on the townhome, that reflects 640,000. Not as drastic of a year over year increase, but still a 5% growth. So that's fantastic. There aren't too many other funds that are doing 5, let alone 16% in growth. Let's take a look at Prince William County. Mostly pluses where we wanted to see it. A small 2% dip for year over year closed sales, but again, not a huge deal to be concerned about. 5 days on market for those that have gone under contract. And when we take a look at the graph for new pendings, a little bit more drastic of a plunge and a climb up for their, slump as you came out of last year's fall and then winter market, and then worked your way up into the peak spring market. I suspect that what you'll see in June is that this is curving down, because that's kind of what it did last year too, and every year before. But the data trends in the end, year over year, this is like 1% off from where we were last year, so it's negligible. Sales prices, a little bit of a dip here in May, but still, this reflects a 3% year over year growth. Definitely not 16% like we saw in Fairfax, but still growth. And to townhome numbers, although it looks like they are down, it's actually 7% year over year growth in sales prices. And this reflects obviously just something right under 700,000 for the detached, and for townhomes right at 500,000. And then Stafford County. Stafford Also a minus here, but not just the 1% or 2% that we were seeing in the other counties. Year over year, there's a drastic drop in closed sales, but as you'll see in new pendings, it's not drastically bad now. It's just that you know, whenever the activity was last year, it was apparently much higher last May than it was this year. And that could very well be because we see a steady shift over time of that spring market. That spring market, you know, it used to be April was the best month or May was the best month. And now we see a lot of activities happening in March and even February. So we always say that spring market is as soon as you put your Christmas tree away. It's like right as the new year kicks off. Median sold price, nice increases here. We'll take a look at that, and still 5 days on market. So yeah, a little curve down in terms of activity, but the new pendings year over year at 16%. It's slow, but it is still 5 days on market for those homes that went under contract. So it's a bit of a dichotomy, and I'm going to show you one last slide just to put that into a bit of perspective. But look at these nice growths that they're seeing in Stafford. This, on the other hand, actually is a 14% price increase year over year. Like Fairfax had a 16%. Prince William was definitely below both of those at only 3%. Single family homes or detached homes in Stafford are seeing a 14% increase year over year. That's fantastic. And although this looks like a little dip down, this is reflecting at a 400,000 average, or rather median sales price for townhomes. That's an 8% increase year over year. So great equity earning on all 3 counties. And then this is the last slide. This reflects months of supply. In other words, based on how fast buyers have been taking things off market and how fast sellers are putting things on market, how much inventory do we have? And the answer would surprise you. This orange shows a 5-year average for the activity of months of supply. Like this is about 3 weeks. This is right at about a month. And what you're seeing in Fairfax is that there's enough inventory based on the appetite of the buyers to last about 1.3 months. So 5-ish weeks. In Prince William, it's a little over a month. And in Stafford, it's 1.4. So almost 1.5 months, almost 6 weeks that we're seeing. So why is it that homes say 5 days on market as a median days on market, and yet we've got over a month of supply in all 3 counties? It's because there are homes that are not going under contract. They're still sitting there as available inventory, and they're quite frankly not the shiny pennies. And I've been talking to my buyers, talking to my sellers, because the expenses for buyers are high right now. With the very high sales prices, the higher than what we've experienced recently interest rates, and then the closing costs. And so they're being more discerning. They're choosing the shiny pennies. They're choosing the things that they feel give them the most bang for buck, and it is not a fixer-upper. Even though that could be a good bang for buck, it requires cash to come back and fix that thing up to something that they're happy with. So the months of supply is based on those homes that aren't selling right now, whereas those 5 days on market that we saw each of those counties is based on how fast those that people have chosen to buy are staying on market. I hope that makes sense to you. If you have questions, please call me. But most importantly, if you would like to have an evaluation of what your home is worth right now, or what the likelihood is of you getting it sold in this market, we would love to help you, because neighborhood to neighborhood, these stats look very, very different. And ultimately, there are buyers out there. The interest rates have not shut them down. And there's a great opportunity for sellers to get fabulous 16% year-over-year kinds of sales prices. Give us a call. We're happy to help. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next month. Bye.